Hey YouTube, today I'll be showing you my hero deck profile and combos for the post-April ban list. I've been trying out this deck a lot with the new support from Supreme Darkness, and I recently got second place at my locals with it, so it's got some really promising results so far in my testing, and I'm looking forward to optimizing this further. In particular, the Evil Hero support for my testing, I find that it's a really good way of cutting down bricks instead of adding more Evil Hero bricks, and really helps the consistency of the deck, so we can cut down the hero main deck to 40 cards, which means that we get our impactful non-engine much more often, and yeah, so we're not running any of the evil hero bricks, but we are cutting down on other bricks that are relevant to heroes, like the Faris increased engine, because I think that it's particularly outdated at this point compared to some of the other meta relevant decks. But yeah, we'll jump right into the main deck and explain the changes as we go. So we're running 2 Stratos. Of course, you want to run 2 because you want to make sure a hero lives is always live to make this guy as a 1-card combo. But also you want to summon 1 from the deck with Wake Up Your Elemental Hero when you pop it with your DPE. And so I think 2 is the best ratio for that. And with the Evil Hero support, this is a 1-card combo, even though the 1-card combo is pretty much just going to end on Plasma, but you'll see that in the combo section. We have 1 Shadow Mist, which is relevant just as 1. We don't want to break too much on drawing too many Shadow Mists, but you only need to resolve 1 for your combos. We have 1 Neos, which is a brick as well, but it's going to be really important for enabling our powerful Infernal Rage Flame Wingman plays. And so we got 2 Vyon, which is a 1-card combo. We'll go over this one. And to go alongside this kind of like Elemental Hero and Vision Hero package, we have the Freya Hero Lives. This is the most powerful kind of starter in the deck. It'll get you your 4 Emboard 1 card, and people love Ashless, then we can just normal summon Vyon and go off to the races from there. For our Destiny Hero engine, we have 3 Fusion Destiny. This is our best extender in the deck, and we're going to go over how it can 1-card combo as well. We have 1 Denier, and of course our 3 Maliciouses. And Malicious is not even that much of a brick, because if you discard it, then you don't have to worry about dumping it from your deck. So there's that. And then we have the 1 Destiny Hero Plasma, because if our Vyon gets impermed and we don't have polymerization access, we need to get to our end board, some kind of end board somehow. So searching Destiny Hero Plasma, summoning him is our solution to that. Then for our Evil Hero package, we are playing 3 Dusted Gold, as well as 3 Evil Assault. Both of these are going to be our 1.5 card combos, and yeah, I think it's very powerful. We'll see in the combo section how this works, but these are very good consistency pieces, I think, and we don't need to run Faris increase, in my opinion, from these. We have the Dead in Prison brick, so this is probably the biggest brick in the deck in terms of if you draw it, you can't activate Evil Assault to summon from deck, but instead you can use Evil Assault to add this, and then go into this other Evil Hero card that we're playing, which is Dark Contact. So yeah, Dark Contact lets us, not many hero builds are playing it, but if you read it, it says that we can fusion summon by shuffling back into deck from anywhere, including our banished field or grave. So one of the really cool ways you can use this is that you can recycle your Maliciouses from the banished and get another linked material, because you can summon another Malicious from deck with it. And I've been really liking the utility of it. The new Fusion Monster lets us decrease the opponent's attack points, and that means that we can make our Plasma survive better into boards. And it's really nice that Dead in Prison can be used once per turn. So for example, if you were to use Evil Assault and our opponent full losses or draws us, then we can just end on, we can, instead of summoning from deck, this is like branded openings, so we can just add the monster to hand, add the Dead in Prison to hand, and then we just rely on our non-engine from like normal summoning this under full loss and being able to play the slow game. So just using this once per turn, I've won a few games where I just keep resolving Dead in Prison and building up the graveyard that way. So yeah, that is going to be the main engine pieces, but we also have a few inherent bricks. So the 1 Polymerization to go with the Vyon, this will be a really important combo piece. The 1 Miracle Fusion, which we of course search off Sunrise. This is kind of like a required brick as well. And the 1 Favorite Contact, and this is not the worst brick because If we draw it, we can discard it, and then our Flame Wingman Infernal Rage future monster can just add this back from graveyard too. So it's kind of free discard fodder of something like a Evil Assault. So that's going to be our engine component of the deck. I really like it. I never miss playing Faris or Increase at all, because of course you don't want to draw Increase, you don't want to even run 2 Increase because it's like way too slow compared to all the other decks that don't run those kind of bricks. And so for our non-engine, we really want to make sure that we can counter a more charming Fool Loss. I don't think Perulia and Meows are worth ashing, because they don't have that much of an impact on heroes. So that's one of the key strengths of this deck, is that we're only really weak to Fool Loss. And so free ash for that is really nice, as well as just a good coverage hand trap. But for the rest, we kind of opt for like more board breakers and things that don't trigger talents. So Droplet and Imperm. Droplet's really nice because, just like Imperm, it can deal with a Wave King Caesar, because Fiendsmith's really popular right now, and that really hurts heroes. The Droplet's really nice for sending things like Denier, Malicious, and other hero names that you draw, which you don't mind putting in the graveyard really. So it's really nice changing this to a normal spell as well, and using it for 2 or 3 sends. And so we got the 1 talents, 1 call by, and 1 cross out, which I've been trying out. So these are kind of like the most important staples in my opinion in this new format. Of course, because talents is at 1, it makes it a bit better because it's like a bit more unexpected. People, it's only a 10% chance now to draw it in hands. People will often just hand trap freely in your main phase, so it's really important that you play this. The call by, of course, is another answer to more charming Fool Loss and Droll, and the cross out for the same. So we're going to put in Droll and cross out post side. So that is it for our main deck. And for the extra deck, we have 2 DPE, because I noticed that Nightmare Unicorn, Kashtira Unicorn is really important in this format. It's on the rise, and so they're going to try to look our extra deck and rip the most important monster, which people often know is DPE. So we play 2 to play around that. And we have our 1 Flame Wingman, our 1 Sunrise, 1 Shining Neos Wingman, and 1 Wake Up Your Elemental Hero for our Elemental Hero fusions. So I've been finding Wake Up Your Elemental Heroes really good for popping and summoning Stratos from deck, and that can be a really good way to make Plasma. So that comes up quite a lot. And we have, to go along with the Flame Wingmen, we have 2 different cards we can substitute into. We have Aquaneos, we have Air Neos, and we have Sunrise, of course. So going first, we want to use Aquaneos, unless we go for Sunrise instead for certain combos. And going second, Air Neos is really good for OTKs when we halve our life points with Hero Lives. And that means that this will be on 6,500. Alternatively, we can use the like crashing of our own monsters to make sure that this gets enough attack to attack in 1 shot, kill our opponent. And we also play a Darkest Night, which will be our target for Dark Contact. This guy reads that his materials are a Fiend and a Warrior, and so that means that we can just use a Banished Destiny Hero Malicious basically, and a Dusted Gold, or we could use a Stratos plus a Dusted Gold. And what it does is decrease all the opponent's attack points by 2,900 if we use Malicious, or about 3,900 if we use Stratos as material. So really powerful. It basically makes our opponent's monsters 0, and it means that they can't freely attack over Plasma. So it's another way of stopping our opponent just running over our skill drain monster. So for the links, we have 2 Cross Crusader and a Wonder Driver, as well as Dread Decimator. It's kind of important as I follow up and for attacking the game, and 1 Infernal Devicer. Finally, I play 1 non-hero in the extra deck, which is going to be Baguska. We can make this when we go for a Hero Lives and we get Drolled or Fool Loss, then we can just go for a Baguska pass play, which comes up more often than you think. But yeah, other extra deck monsters didn't really come up for me, so these are the ones I settled on. And that is it for the extra deck. Moving on to the side deck, we have our free Droll, which is going to be really important in the next format as well for shutting down certain decks. Free Lancier, of course. Free Thrust. And to go alongside this, we have a Duster, Sanctum and a different dimension ground, and 2 Lightning Storm and Rivalry. So Frost is really impactful, like going first. If we think down a lot of hand traps, then we can set up a Sanctum or DDG depending on the deck we're against. You know, if they're really graveyard reliant, we use DDG. If we go for Sanctum, we're gonna set our Lancia so that we can use it against Malice. And Lightning Storm is really powerful as format too, as well as Duster for clearing the back row, of course. And we got Rivalry, which came up for me in the match against Exodia, to basically win the game solely off this, because if they don't go for Millennium Arc straight away, you can lock them into one type, and that will really help you win the game against that kind of deck. So, one thing that's really important with Frost is that you need to make sure that you put this in going second a lot of the time, because how the siding works is that you want to take out your things like your Miracle Fusion, Favorite Contact, and Neos, and replace it with this. And what you're going to search for engine-wise when you go second to break a board is your Fusion Destiny, because it's really important to push into a board, and so you can often win games by pushing into a board and set Plasma and DP and controlling the game state that way. But yeah, this has all been working really well so far. It might change when Alliance Insight comes out, but we'll have to see. I'll make an update when Alliance Insight comes out. So that is it for the deck, and we'll go on to the combos now. Now for our first and most powerful 1.5 card combo, we're going to see what we can do with just one A Hero Lives and 1 discard. So getting right into the combo, we have A Hero Lives we're going to start with. Half our life points to summon our Stratos from deck. Stratos, of course, will search us a hero, which will be our Dusted Gold. From here, we're going to use the Dusted Gold effect. Discard it. Go ahead and search for our Evil Assault. Then Evil Assault is going to activate, discarding our card in hand. To go ahead and special summon from the deck the Dead End Prison. The Dead End Prison will be able to Foolish Burial a hero, and that's part of the effect we care about, which will be the cost, which will be Shadow Mist. In this particular build, we're not going to worry about the actual effect part of this. I'm just viewing this as a Foolish Burial outlet. From here, we're going to use the Shadow Mist effect in the grave, and this will add us our Vyon to our hand. We'll go ahead and normal summon the Vyon, of course, and we'll use this effect to send a hero from deck to grave, which will be our Destiny Hero Malicious. We'll go ahead and use the Vyon effect to add our Polymerization from deck to hand, and usually you want to banish the Evil Hero Dusted Gold this way. So we'll banish the Dusted Gold and search the Poly. From here, what we're going to do is link these two off. So we want to keep the elemental hero name on board. That's really important. We're going to summon Infernal Devicer to our EMZ, and this will allow us to reveal any Neos fusion and be able to add Neos from deck to hand. From here, this is a really favourable spot to be in because we have our Polymerization and 2 elemental heroes with different attributes. So we'll activate Poly, fuse Stratos and Neos, and this will get us our Infernal Rage. From here, we can use the Infernal Rage effect to add our favourite contacts from deck to hand. And you can see that we're playing under Nibiru Lettuce. So we haven't even summoned, this is our 5th summon, and we set up our favourite contact push for our Shining Neos Wingman endboard piece. So this is a really good way to sequence the combo because we're not playing into Nibiru even with a 1.5 card combo, which is really powerful. So from here, what we're going to do is use the Flame Wingman Infernal Rage effect and tribute it. Because it was summoned with Neos as fusion material, we can tribute it to summon a level 7 or lower elemental hero from our that can't be normal summon or set. So Sunrise will be summoned, and because it can trigger its effect when it's special summoned, it can add Miracle Fusion from deck to hand. From here, what we're going to do is go ahead and finally use our Destiny Hero Malicious that we sent earlier. We're going to banish it from the grave to summon another copy from the deck. And now we're going to go ahead and use our 2 warriors to make our extra hero Cross Crusader. And Cross Crusader will go ahead and reborn our Malicious, but it won't stay there for long because we're going to immediately tribute it with Cross Crusader's effect to search ourselves a hero. And that will search us our Denier from deck to hand. From here, we're going to go ahead and link off these 2 into our extra hero Wonder Driver. And this is really important because we're going to go ahead and use our Malicious effect again in grave. Banish it. And this will go ahead and summon our last copy of Malicious from the deck. But it won't be the last one we summon from deck, because we're going to go ahead and, first of all, Wonder Driver. Since the monster was summoned to his zone, it can reset the polymerization from our graveyard to our field, and we'll immediately use it. And this will set up our second interruption, which will be our Destiny Hero Destroyer Phoenix Enforcer right here. It's a really great spot to be in, because now we can freely Mirror Confusion. And what I like to do here is need to banish an Elemental Hero Fusion monster and a Warrior monster. I like to banish these two because Favorite Contact's going to shuffle them back from the banishment anyway. And now we'll go ahead and summon our Wake Up Your Elemental Hero. Now we can use our Denier effect in the grave, which will summon itself out because we have Destiny Hero on our field or grave. And Denier will shuffle back, we'll put back a Destiny Hero Malicious from our banish back on top of our deck. Now we can use the Malicious Engrave to banish it, and of course summon our last Malicious from the deck. Then we can go ahead and use our Destroyer Phoenix Enforcer, destroying itself, and the Wake Up Your Elemental Hero, chaining both, so chain 1 Wake Up, chain 2 Destroyer Phoenix Enforcer. And then we'll go ahead and summon our Stratos from the deck. And Stratos is not a hard once return, of course, pretty old card. We can search for another hero, which will of course be our Destiny Hero Plasma. Now it's up to you what exact monsters you want to tribute here, but I like to tribute the Wonder Driver, the Denier, and the Malicious to go ahead and summon your Destiny Hero Plasma. And we will set our Favorite Contact, and during the opponent's standby phase, we will get our Destroyer Phoenix Enforcer back by its own effect. So our end board will look something like this. And just to go over what we have exactly, off of 1.5 cards, we've gotten our Destiny Hero Plasma, Skill Drain, which we kind of want to play that we're protecting that, and let our opponent play into a Skill Drain. We have Destroyer Phoenix Enforcer, we can deal with any threats, as well as a bunch of heroes in grave, which will decrease the opponent's attack, probably by about 2,000 points. So it's really hard to attack over Destiny Hero Plasma. Even if they do get past that, we have our Favorite Contact Push, which will shuffle back our Flame Wingman and Neos from the banished to go ahead and summon the Shining Neos Wingman and pop up to the number of attributes on field, which is currently going to be 3, as well as the opponent's attributes, because we left the Stratos on field. And so, yeah, it's a really powerful end board, and of course it's the best one card starter in the deck, but we're going to go over some of the other combos the deck can do now as well. Now for our second combo, we're going to see what we can do with just one Adusted Gold and a random card to discard. This will be slightly weaker than the last combo, but some concessions are made in order to play the Evil Hero package, and so you need to decide what kind of end board you go into. So we're going to show 2 different end boards we can make with these kind of starters. So first of all, we're going to do the one with Adusted Gold and see what's possible. So with Adusted Gold as a starter, you can go into either of these combos that I'm about to show. So Adusted Gold can go ahead and add Evil Assault from deck to hand with its discard effect. Then we're going to use Evil Assault, discarding the random card in hand. And that will go ahead and special summon our Dead End Prison from the deck. Dead End Prison, of course, will send a hero from deck to grave, which will be our Shadow Mist. And Shadow Mist will go ahead and add our hero from deck to hand, which will be Vyon. We'll then normal summon the Vyon, using its effect to send another hero from deck to grave, our Destiny Hero Malicious, and Vyon in this line will banish the Adusted Gold, which is important that we start with Adusted Gold and not Evil Assault for this combo in particular, and this will add our Poly from deck to hand. From here we'll go ahead and link off because we don't really care about keeping Dead in Prison on board. We're going to go ahead and make our Infernal Devicer. Devicer will reveal our Neos Fusion monster to add our Neos from deck to hand, and this is summon number 3, so we're still playing under Nib. Now we're going to set up an interruption under Nib, so we're going to poly our 2 monsters here, Devicer and Neos. This will make our Sunrise this time, as opposed to the last combo when we went to straight for Flame Wingman, but we don't have the elemental heroes on in rotation yet, so we can't go directly into Infernal Rage. We've got to make Sunrise as a concession here. So from here, Sunrise is going to activate its effect, and we're going to get our Miracle Fusion. Then we're going to go ahead and Miracle Fusion, and this is why it's important that we kept our Shadow Mist engrave and didn't banish it off Vyon here. So we're going to banish our Shadow Mist and our Neos, and this will allow us to summon our Flame Wingman now. Summon number 5, we're going to go ahead and add our favourite contacts, which will be an interruption on the opponent's board for the Shining Neos Wingman. Now in this particular line, there's a really cool thing you should do. We can kind of threaten our Nibiru from our opponent here by attributing the Infernal Rage by its own effect, and that will summon our Aqua Neos. And Aqua Neos, even though it has an effect to randomly discard an opponent's card, we can discard something we don't need in hand, like a random hero engine piece that we don't want in the hand, and try to snipe a hand trap. And they might even Nibiru us with this board right now, which would be a mistake, because then we can use extenders to extend past that. But yeah, it puts them in an interesting position. So from here, we can go ahead and now go into our Destiny Hero Malicious from grave that we sent earlier, banish it, go ahead and summon your Destiny Hero Malicious from deck. We're then going to link off, and that will summon our Cross Crusader, and he will reborn a Malicious and tribute the Malicious straight after to search for a hero from deck to hand, and that will be our Destiny Hero Denier. Now we're going to link off these two into our last link, our Wonder Driver, and this will allow us to then banish the last Malicious for our last summon from deck, which will be our Malicious, of course, and that will go ahead and set our Polymerization. And we can go ahead and Polymerization our Denier and our Malicious into our Destroyer, Phoenix Enforcer. And for this line, this is pretty much the combo that we went for. It's a lot more follow-up oriented because we have our Denier engrave and we didn't use its reborn effect, which says that we can reborn it once per duel with effect. So we're saving this as our follow-up, and so that will allow us to go from Denier and Malicious into a Cross Crusader for follow-up plays. Maybe search our Dark Contacts and start breaking our board with that, with the Cross Crusader. And so what we got here though, that's the follow-up that we've saved next turn. What we have for now is our DPE pop and our favorite contacts pop. So if you think your opponent is weak to removal effects, then I'd consider going into this board. But we have an alternative combo, which can instead go for our Plasma plus DPE play. So if you're against a deck like Branded, which really struggles against effect negation, then I recommend going for this next combo coming up now. For our alternative line, using the Evil Hero starters, we're going to see what we can do with an Evil Assault and a discard. It's important to note that this combo is only possible with, you can use Evil Assault or a Dusted Gold for this particular combo, but the previous combo requires a Dusted Gold engrave, and that is because you need Vyon to banish a hero other than Shadow Mist from grave, and so a Dusted Gold will be that hero. But here we don't have that, and so we're going to see what we can do with just Evil Assault, because sometimes you're in a situation where you're forced to start with this. So Evil Assault, discard the random card, and we're going to summon our Dead End Prison from deck. Dead End Prison, of course, will send our Shadow Mist for costs, and that will go ahead and allow our Shadow Mist to add our hero, which will be our Vyon from deck to hand, and we'll normal summon it, which will send our Malicious, our Vyon's effect, from deck to grave. Vyon, as I mentioned, we need to banish the Shadow Mist in this combo, and so when we banish Shadow Mist, we get our Polymerization. Now, instead of going for Polymerization right away, we're actually going to banish our Malicious here, summon another Malicious from deck, and that will mean that we have two warriors that we can link off for our Cross Crusader. Cross Crusader effect will reborn the Malicious, and we'll tribute it straight away with the Cross Crusader effect to add our Denier from deck to hand. Now it's fortunate Dead End Prison is actually a light attribute, and so we can use our Polymerization fusing the Denier and the Dead End Prison. Two heroes with different attributes. We'll summon our Sunrise, and we can use Sunrise effect to add our Miracle Fusion. Now from here, what I like to do is use our Denier effect engrave, reborn it, and use effect to put the Malicious back into our deck, and use our Malicious engrave to summon the one we put back into deck, Oh, but first, important step here. We need to link off these two into our Wonder driver because we need to reset our polymerization. And so now we can banish the malicious to summon the one from deck, trigger Wonder driver because a monster was summoned to its zone, and that will set our polymerization. Then we will go ahead and activate the polymerization right away using our sunrise and our malicious into our DP. From here, what we're going to do is Miracle Fusion, and this will banish our Sunrise and our Cross Crusader, Warrior and an Elemental Hero Fusion. As we saw before, we're going to make our Wake Up Your Elemental Hero, and we're going to go ahead and use the DP to pop the Wake Up and itself, triggering both of their effects. The DP floats in the standby phase of your opponent's turn, and Wake Up will summon a hero or warrior monster from the deck. So we're going to summon our Stratos. Stratos, of course, will search for our Plasma, and we're just one body short, but fortunately we left a malicious in our deck, and we're going to use that right now. Summon our last malicious, and we have exactly 3 bodies that we can tribute for our Destiny Hero Plasma. So here what our onboard is going to be is our DP come back in standby phase of the next turn, and we have a Plasma, which is really good against certain matchups where effect negation is king. Our DP will help protect it with its attack reduction effect, and so even though we end up on not getting the Neos Wingman play with our favourite contacts, we still get 2 of our 3 onboard pieces with just a evil hero starter. Now, similar to the evil hero starters, our Vision Hero Vyon is also a 1.5 card starter, so it's not even that bad to draw one of the Vyons. So we're going to see what this can do. We're going to normal summon Vyon, use its effect, send our Shadow Mist to the grave, and of course Shadow Mist, like before, will add a hero from deck to hand, which will be our Dusted Gold this time. And because we can get a Dusted Gold in rotation, we're going to use our former Evil Hero version of the combo. So a Dusted Gold will add our Evil Assault, and Evil Assault will require the discard of our random card in hand to summon our Dead End Prison from deck. Now we're going to use our Dead End Prison and our Vyon, so we're going to send our Malicious from deck to hand, from deck to grave with our Dead End Prison, and then banish our Dusted Gold to add our Polymerization from deck to hand. From here, we're going to link off our Dead End Prison and our Vyon into a Devicer. Infernal Devicer will go ahead and reveal our Neos Fusion monster and add our Neos from deck to hand. Just like before, we're going to play around Nibiru, and we're going to poly our Neos and our Devicer into our Elemental Hero Sunrise. And Sunrise will add our Miracle Fusion from deck to hand. From here, we have our 2 different Elemental Heroes with different attributes in the graveyard. So Miracle Fusion, banishing our Neos and our Shadow Mist. And that will allow us to summon our Flame Wingman Infernal Rage. And Infernal Rage will go ahead and add our favourite contacts. From this position, just like before, we can tribute our Infernal Rage for our Aquaneos, or we can also go for our Eneos if we're going second and want to threaten OTK. So Eneos can discard another card in hand if you have something you really want to discard, and make sure you're not against a matchup like Fire Kings when you use this, by the way. It could let them pop off on your turn. So if you can use Aquaneos if you want to discard another card, or else you're going to go ahead and banish the Malicious we sent earlier to summon another Malicious, and we're going to link off this with the Aquaneos, and that will go ahead and summon our Cross Crusader, reborn our Malicious, and tribute it to get our Hero Search for our Denier. From here, we're going to go ahead and make these 2 into our Wonder driver, and we can banish for our final Malicious. So banish, summon from deck again, a Malicious, Wonder driver, will reset the poly, and just like before, we'll set it, activate the poly, and now we have the perfect materials for our DPE here. Just like the previous combo, what we have here is our favourite contacts, which will summon our Shining Neos Wingman, fusion monster like before. We can summon it to the Wonder Driver zone if we like, and that will allow us to reset a Miracle Fusion, for example, which can be really nice follow-up. We can DPE to control the game state. Each turn popping a card really builds up in terms of momentum. And we also saved our Denier as a really powerful follow-up tool because we didn't use this reborn effect once per duel. We can reborn it, put Mali back, summon Mali, and then make these two or anything else into a Cross Crusader. So yeah, it's really powerful end board, even with just 1.5 cards combo. Now we're going to see what we can do with just one Fusion Destiny. I mentioned that it's the most powerful extender in the deck, and what I mean by this is that once your Evil Hero or your Hero Lives or your Vision Hero Vyon gets stopped, this is going to be your primary push in terms of making it a DPE plus Plasma board. So what we can do after we get interrupted, or this is our only starter, we Fusion Destiny. We want to make sure this is later in the combo, of course, because we don't want to get the Dark Hero restriction before we do our powerful plays. So Fusion Destiny will send our Denier and our Malicious from deck to the grave, summon our DPE. Then our Malicious and grave will trigger. We can activate it to banish it and summon a Malicious from the deck. We can use the Denier effect here, reborn itself once per duel, because we have Destiny Hero on our field, and we can use its effect to put the Malicious back into the deck. From here, we're going to link off these two into our Cross Crusader, and that will reborn our Malicious. Actually, go for Denier in case they Bestial it. And then our Cross Crusader will tribute the Denier. Oh, but first, we're going to banish our Malicious and summon the other Malicious. We're going to Cross Crusader, tribute this guy, and that will add from our deck to our hand our Vyon. This is in case we haven't normal summoned in this example, so we're going to normal summon our Vyon. And this will allow us to send a Shadow Mist from deck to grave, and Shadow Mist effect will add our Destiny Hero Plasma from deck to hand. Then we can get our choice of banish. We might want to banish the Denier here, because we use its graveyard effect anyway, but it depends, but we'll add our Polymerization. And here we have our 3 tributes, so we'll tribute our Malicious, Cross Crusader, and our Vyon. And we get our Destiny Hero Plasma. So just off of the 1 card extension, we get our 2 really powerful end-board pieces, our DP and our Plasma. Of course, the DP will protect the Plasma from getting beaten over by something like a Bestial, which is really powerful. And so that's pretty much that combo. We have, for follow-up, another Malicious in deck that we can use, and possibly extend the Cross Crusader and get another push next turn. Now for completeness, I wanted to show what you can do with just Stratos as a normal summon, plus a random card to discard. So with the Evil Hero support, it makes Stratos a 1-card combo. The 1-card combo is a lot more powerful in a variant where you use Faris and increase, but I didn't want to run those bricks, so this is going to be the combo that's slightly weaker, but doesn't need to run those kind of bricks. So we're going to normal summon Stratos to start with, and this will add our Dusted Gold. A Dusted Gold will discard itself for our Evil Assault, and Evil Assault, discard our random card in hand to summon our Dead End Prison. Now, Dead End Prison will send, this time, our Malicious from deck to grave, and Malicious can banish itself to summon another Malicious. Now we use 2 of our warriors, our Stratos and our Malicious, to make a Cross Crusader. Cross Crusader will reborn our Malicious and tribute it to add our Destiny Hero Plasma from deck to hand. Finally, we're going to banish our Malicious for our 3rd Malicious, and we have 3 monsters we contribute for our Destiny Hero Plasma. So it doesn't seem like much, and that's because it isn't, but sometimes this is enough to steal games if you have enough other non-engine in hand. And it's important to note, if you just draw Stratos and no other starters, that's what you can do with it. But yeah, that's going to be it for the hero deck profile and combos. I hope you enjoy trying out this variant for yourself. I personally never really miss playing Faris and Increase, because Faris requires another hero in hand to discard, and that kind of encourages your deck to just not play much non-engine, which I'm not really a big fan of in this current meta. So yeah, let me know what you guys think of testing this out, and let me know any improvements you think that could be made, and let me know how you get on with using this deck for yourself. And we'll see if the Master Hero support that gets announced will make a considerable increase in the output of this deck. and I'll be sure to update the deck profile when new sets come out and new support comes out. But yeah, anyway, cheers, bye.